That was Taibai Janardhan Mawade, and I'm Emily Ewing Hayes. This is Struggle for a Name, a podcast about the Namantar Movement from 1978 to 1994. It was a movement about changing the name of one university in Maharashtra, India, from Marathwada University to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar University. Taibai is from Sugaon, one of the villages that was affected by the 1978 backlash, the decision to rename the university. Her husband was killed in that violence, Janardhan Mawade, and his name has become a symbol, like Pochiram Kamble's, of the martyrdom of Dalits during that time. This story has even more weight for me today after the violence that occurred in Charlottesville, my hometown, this weekend. A white supremacist rally was held in Charlottesville, and a white supremacist and Trump supporter plowed his car into a group of protesters, killing one. After seeing footage of this car barreling through my hometown, killing someone for the sake of some Confederate statues, Taibai's story is giving me hope. As much as her story is about caste oppression and caste violence, it is also about surviving and resisting after that violence is over. Taibai grew up in an India that had just won its independence from British rule, and in a Maharashtra that was transforming Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's movement and his leadership into guidance that would last beyond his death.
At that time, my hobby was singing. I used to sing, I used to participate in programs. Important activists used to come there. At that time, I didn't feel so much. After marriage, all this lessened a bit. We were just living there.
You sang songs?
Yes, I used to sing songs about Babasaheb. I never felt shy. I sang many songs on stage.
Songs about Dr. Ambedkar often focus on his dedication to education, the ways he experienced caste stigma, and his dedication to fighting for his people. Songs are super influential in the Ambedkarite movement, to the point where interviewees paraphrase songs when they describe historical events to me. Taibai's father was especially supportive of her singing.
Our father was Sarpanch, leader. Due to his support, we had become bold. We were so bold, we didn't fear anything.
Sarpanch is the head of the village council. In 1958, these became elected seats in Maharashtra, with reservations, as in reserved seats, for scheduled castes, meaning Dalits, and scheduled tribes, meaning Adivasis. Life got harder for Taibai when she married. She moved away from her hometown to the other side of Nanded, to Sugaon, to live with her new husband. When the 1978 riots happened in Sugaon, Taibai had 3 children. The youngest one was 1.5 years old.
When movement started, in 1978, we did not get any information in the rural areas. At that time, anything could happen. The men used to not tell the women about these things. On the 4th of August, they planned to do this. The chief minister's order must have happened.
The government had announced the name changing 8 days before, on the 27th of July.
They decided to kill those persons who had followers. Our people were ready with stones, chili powder, and more to face them. Our people kept vigil and sang bhajans during that period and protected our society. A fine rain was falling. The attackers were supposed to come at 3 a.m., but they came at 4:30 a.m. As soon as our men came back home, they attacked our society. Small stones hit the heads of small children. Huts were set on fire. Some people were hitting others hard in anger. Our people went from house to house. They came into our hut, and some people beat up women. The men were attacked with sticks. They were ready to beat us. I was hiding in someone's house behind. Do you know marki? The mud ones? Water pots? It's like that in rural areas. I was hidden there behind the pots, and the baby was here, and the children were behind there. My 2 sons, my daughter, and me. In the streets, they were shouting, "Throw them in the fire! Don't take his name and put it on the university. Cut up the wife! Cut up the wife!" I didn't understand anything, who these people were or anything. So I went into the streets. Where is the husband? Where are the children? I was surrounded by about 40 people with chains and sticks. These attackers shouted, "Beat her! Kill her! She is smart and so she wants to read? Set her on fire." One of them came forward and said, "Don't kill her. What did she do to you? Come on, come on. Why kill her? She is a female person. Leave her and find her husband." Then I fled from there. I went to search for my husband. But first I hid my children off to the side. Otherwise, would I have been saved? No. Would all my children have been saved? No. Because I hid my children, I am here today. It's due to Babasaheb that these children were saved. The day arrived. It was the morning at 7 a.m. My husband was surrounded by them. What can one person do against all those people? Our people had gone here and there. Some people had fled after being beaten. Some people had left. Some people were hiding. I set out to figure out where my husband was, and I found that he had been beaten and killed. We sat there. At 9 a.m., the police came there. At 9 a.m., we did not get police protection. Maratha people built the police stations everywhere. Not a single police officer had come to protect us. Everything was controlled by them. We left the village. The collector and chief minister supported me, which is why I am here now. They offered me a 50 rupees a month job. My son has studied so far and gotten so big. Both sons are independent, and my daughter got married. I left the village. That's how it happened.
The attack was premeditated and involved people from 10 to 12 villages outside of Sugaon. It seemed that the trigger for the attack happened several days before, when those opposed to the Namantar decision decided to close down the village.
The river flows between two villages. The villages Deshmukh came here to shut down the school. As soon as my husband got there, those 200 Deshmukhs fled. Then their wives told them that they were Gandu. A single man, Janardhan, caused them to run away. Why didn't you beat him? Then 5 to 6 days later, the attackers gathered and planned a vigil at the Maruti temple, and early in the morning, they entered our village.
Gandu is slang that literally means asshole but implies men who have sex with men.
My husband's dead body was there, in the government hospital, for 2 days. Due to the curfew, I could not take his body to the cemetery. I was there in the hospital for 2 days. On the second day, I heard that Pochiram Kamble was killed in Timpurni. That village is 3 or 4 kilometers away from this place. I don't have a home there, in the village.
Many people in Sugaon and other riot-affected areas were hospitalized with injuries from the beatings. Many fled the villages after losing their homes and possessions in the fires. This spurred further migration of Dalit people to cities to escape the terror in the countryside. In Sugaon,
everyone came to Nanded. Then the collector built homes for the villagers. All the villagers went back to the village. Due to the support of the collector, I was the only person who stayed back in Nanded. I survived without a house, without my own space, for 2 years. I didn't have anything. I had to live for 6 months at one person's house, 6 months at another person's house. After living outside for 2 years, I came here. 2 rooms were built for me. People are not good. They say, she's just a woman alone with some small kids. The police from Shivaji police station protected me for 2 years. The police car used to come at 5 p.m. and used to go at 6 a.m. I worked as a sweeper for 50 rupees a month in the Nagar Palika. Look at what our situation was during that period.
Taibai had to fight for this government aid, with the support of the Dalit Panthers, which was a new and influential party at that time. When she and her children survived, she thought,
my children don't have a home. Where will I live? So I went to the chief minister about building a house.
who?
Sharad Pawar. I went there. An activist from the Panthers came to take me there. It was rainy season. He said, "Where are you going in all this with such small children? Don't go, it's raining, the children will get sick." I stayed there for 15 days, and that was when the case started in court. So then, what did the chief minister ask me? "Bhai, how did you get here?" I said, "I came by train." That's what I said. "How did you get here?" I said, "By train." "Bhai, the court case has started." I said, "No one had told me that the case had started, so I came."
Officials had not told Taibai that the Sugao murder case was starting in court because they thought she was one of the victims. India's Crime Investigation Department, or CID, was handling the case, but they had been misinformed.
What did these Marathas say? She was killed, that woman, her 3 children, their father. They didn't kill me. The Maratha people thought they would be hanged or go to jail.
Taibai's family was also told that she was dead. Police
Told my parents, the villagers said that your 5 people, Janardhan, Taibai, and the children, were killed. And I was in Mumbai. My brother was a teacher in the Zilla Parishad, the government school. The police brought him to an activist in Nanded. He was asking about me and my children. What happened? Where did we go? Finally, he phoned the chief minister and asked him whether a woman from Sugao, Janardhan's wife, Mawade Bai, had come with her children. "Yes," he said. "She came here. I told her to go back immediately and that the case had started."
When Taibai returned to Nanded, back from Mumbai and the dead, those accused of the murder tried a different tactic.
One man offered me 10,000 rupees and said, "Don't accuse these 10 people. They would be hanged." A candidate had been accused. "We are giving you this alcohol and this 10,000. It would be shameful for me to take 1 rupee. They took him bleeding and killed him. How could I or my children take your money?" They said, "That's not possible." I told them, "See you in court." They told people to kill me here.
Taibai says that this offer was not made to her alone. Other villagers decided to take the money and say that they couldn't see who was beating them in the dark. When she got to the court, she was standing there alone. There were typists to either side of her, and facing her were 12 defense lawyers.
A lawyer asked me, "Why do you call him Snub-Nosed Jnanarao?" I said, "Why? Sir, the whole region calls him Snub-Nosed Jnanarao, so that's what I call him." Again a lawyer asked, "Why do you call him Rowdy Naira?" I replied, "The whole village calls him that, so I call him Rowdy Naira."
The questions continued like this. Then one lawyer said,
"Your husband had 2 wives." I replied, "Not 2, 3 or 4, you don't know?" I said to him, "You are working in Nanded and your wife is there in your hometown. How many mistresses do you have in Nanded? Which one is your legal wife?" "No, your legal wife is there in your hometown. I am Janardhan's legal wife. I am not a mistress."
Taibai said that her answer stunned the lawyers. She said she sat all 12 lawyers back down. Then the time came to identify the accused.
The village, the clerks, and I was behind them. They were sitting there to be called up. I said, "His name is this. He used an axe. His name is this. He used a cycle chain. He used a pistol. He used a sword." Just like that. My husband's body was covered in 125 wounds. 125 wounds.
That night, though,
We heard the judge was given money, this much money, by Marathas to resign and not bring anyone else on. What should I have done? What could I do?
Taibai says that some of the accused were convicted, but
we never went to the village for the last 12 years. I never went there. The police protected me for 2 years. I have been living here since the last 40 years.
But Taibai continued to resist from Nanded.
One of our leaders, Gaikwad, organized a long march. The road to Aurangabad was blockaded by the police. I walked along the riverside and reached my village. I went to the starting point of the march. The police were surprised to see me there. They wondered how I got there. As soon as I reached, an activist started the march. Women, children, and men, all of them participated in the march. Police officers then asked me, "How did you get here?" I replied, "On my feet." The police informed their police station about the march having started. By the time we reached Limgaon, they were ready. The police arrested us at Limgaon and took us to the police station. I demanded food, or at least tea. They provided us some tea and bread. We were not criminals. We were activists. We just participated in a protest march. The police arrested us. On the next day, they presented us in court, where we were released on bail.
We'll talk about the Long March in a later podcast, but I just want to point out that there's a pattern in Taibai's stories. People underestimated her intelligence and determination over and over again. From those offering bribes, to lawyers trying to undermine her testimony, to police who just saw a poor woman walking to work. Taibai and her youngest son, who is now an engineer, have continued to attend programs about the Namantar Andolan and the violence that occurred. She has hope for the future. Her children are accomplished, and the Ambedkarite movement is strong. Did you celebrate Bhim Jayanti, the birthday of Dr. Ambedkar, before the Namantar Movement?
We did not celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti earlier, but we do now after Namantar. Our people have become bold now. We have got support from students, leaders, educated people. Now, let those who attacked us during the Andolan see how well our children are doing. They labor under our curse still. Half of them are not alive. Their wives have become widows.
So here we are, at the end of the episode. Taibai offers inspiration for those of us experiencing hate-driven tragedies, like in Charlottesville, to keep resisting, and hope that we will win against caste and white supremacy. But as much as I want to end on this hope that I really need to represent Taibai's story the way she told it. I asked her at the end of her interview whether she wanted to recount a good memory of her husband.
What good memory can I tell you about? Which good memory to tell you of? We worked on daily wages. His mother passed away when he was little. We were in virtual exile somehow. By taking help from all quarters, I served him as his wife. We somehow earned enough for our food each day. He was a leader. There was a group of young people who followed him. This is why his attackers were jealous of him. He was 32 when this story came to an end. We had been married a mere 10 years. What can I say of these 10 years? There is neither anything good nor bad to say. He was 32 when he was killed. Our world came to an end. There was nothing very good about the life we did have together. We worked at hard manual labor.
I want to thank so many people for the help with this episode. First, of course, thank you Taibai Janardhan Mawade for sharing your story. Thank you to Vivek Mawade, Rajendra Gonarkar, and Buddhapriya Kabeer for making the interview happen. Thank you to Sheetal Gonarkar for putting me up so cheerfully the whole week in Nanded. Thank you to Deepak Gaikwad for doing most of the transliteration work for this episode. Thank you to the untiring English voice actress Suhasini Sakhare, who also helped translate and transliterate this interview. Thank you to Ajinkya Kamble for writing the podcast music, and to Papu Kumar Naik for making the podcast art. Finally, thank you to Yale's Parker Wong Fellowship, the South Asian Language Fellowship, and the South Asian Recipe Fellowship for their support for this project. I'm Emily Ewing Hayes, and this was Struggle for a Name. Find Struggle for a Name on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts.